Trace here. Today I'll be making this Father's Day card, and it's really cute. It's using a couple of stamp sets, the Ugly Sweater Weather, that stamp set, and Best Dad stamp set. And I will also be using an embossing folder from Brutus Monroe, and this has some stars on it. It's a really neat design. And for my sample one here, I used the die set from Brutus Monroe, but my second one that I make now, I don't think I'll be using it, but I just wanted to show you that that's the die I used for this here. And so I'm going to also use some Memento Danube Blue and some Memento Tuxedo Black inks, and of course Art Glitter Glue. That should be all I'm using. And so what I'm going to do with the next sample is I'm going to do the reverse. What I did with the shirt here was I ran that through the embossing in my Big Shot and then I cut it out. So I stamped it out and then I embossed it and then I cut it out. But my second one, you'll see that I'm gonna be doing the back panel in that same technique instead of the shirt. So let's get started. So I ran this through my Big Shot, and I did that a couple of times just to make sure the embossing really penetrated well. So you can see the design in that cardstock, and it's so cool how that looks. So next I'm going to do the ink dragging technique, and I'm just going to use this blue ink, and I'm just going to, and I have a scrap piece of paper underneath it, and I'm just going to drag my ink pad along the surface very lightly and just kind of dragging it across several times until you're really happy with how it's turning out. I'm going to turn it and do this side, just turning a bit. Just keep going down the page, and it almost resembles a denim look to me, and so I think that's really neat. And it makes a really cool Father's Day or masculine card using kind of a denim look to it. So there's my background, and that's so cool. Now I'm going to stamp on some craft color cardstock, and I'm going to stamp out the shirt, and I'm going to use some Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm just going to ink that up. I will be cutting that out, so I'm just inking that whole image. And there is a collar to this stamp. I'm going to end up cutting that off just because it's more of a wintry look to it, and it's definitely not winter around here. So I am just inking that up really well. Then I'm going to stamp down on the edge because I don't need to really use the whole page. So I'm just stamping that down and pressing really well, and that looks great. So next I am going to stamp the sentiment, and what I did with this here is the sentiment reads "World's Greatest," and it was straight across, so I just stuck it in an arch onto the block so it kind of angles, and then I have the dad here. So I'm just going to ink that up. And I did want the words on the shirt this time, and so I ink that up and make sure it fits nicely on the shirt, and press that down and lift up, and that looks really great. So next I'm going to fussy cut the shirt out. So I use my Cutter Bee scissors to cut the shirt out, and I also put some foam squares, some 3D foam squares in the back of it, and I used both the large and the small were perfect to fit along the sleeves. So I am just going to attach the shirt about here, and I'm going to use some art glitter glue to attach the card front onto the card base, and then that is going to finish off the card. I'll be right back. And that card is finished, and so here is the first one I did, and the second one just a little different. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like and ring the bell, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much, and happy Father's Day.